Have you ever eaten a whole load of food that you almost immediately regretted, and then you wondered, is there anything I could have done to prevent this, to stop it before it even got started? Emotional eating in general and binge eating in particular really are things that you can get out ahead of. If you plan ahead of time, if you do things before the urges strike you, it really is possible to make a big difference. So today I'm going to share with you my morning routine, the things that I do to help myself get ahead of any kind of cravings or urges towards a binge. The first thing that I do within about 20 or 30 minutes of getting up is to have a first little bit of food, just a handful of nuts. At the moment, I'm into pecans because it's a way of promising your body that yes, I am going to be mindful with my food today and I am going to eat. So you don't have to worry about the fact that I'm not having a big breakfast now. I promise you there will be food coming. It's a way that de-stresses your body and it keeps your cortisol levels down as well as your ghrelin levels so that you can get on with the rest of your morning and still feel good about yourself and not feel any urges. I do this because, especially for women who are perimenopausal or menopausal, we have a lot more issues with cortisol. When your cortisol rises, it rises more at this life stage. And when your cortisol goes up, first of all, your ghrelin also goes up, so you feel hungrier. And secondly, you also store your calories more as fat. So both of those are things that we definitely want to avoid, and they are good reasons for eating little and often throughout the day so that you're constantly keeping your cortisol and your ghrelin down. So as I say, I have this snack, first of all, first thing in the morning. Then normally after I've had a short walk, I'll have my breakfast. Then I'll work and then I might do some exercise. And after the exercise, I either have lunch or I'll have another little snack to tide me over, depending on the time and so on. And in the same way, in the afternoon, I also tend to have a little snack mid-afternoon, and that once again is keeping my cortisol and my ghrelin levels down. The next part of my routine is to make some coffee. I normally have 2 cups, which I have around about an hour after getting up, so that my natural waking up has a chance to kick in before I add in these extra chemicals. The two main reasons why I have coffee are for the metabolism boosting properties it has, and also because it is a very good source of soluble fiber. So it helps to keep things regular and keep me running smoothly. Another part of my daily routine that I just wouldn't go without is walking. I find it so great to clear my mind and feel differently because I get myself moving, and I often bring psychosensory touch into that so that I can be calm while I think about, for example, some issues from the previous day or something that I need to do today that perhaps isn't quite so easy. So I take that time for me to calm and clear my mind. As well as the benefits of using psychosensory touch while walking, and perhaps using that time to think about issues from the past or for the future, or simply to be present in the moment while you walk. Walking itself is a great form of exercise. Firstly, it gets you into the fat burning state rather than any other form of fuel that you're burning. Secondly, it's very good for keeping your cortisol levels down. And that's not only when walking in nature, though that boosts the effect even more. And thirdly, it is a great way of letting your body recover. It's a very gentle form of exercise while still burning calories. So altogether, I'm a huge fan of walking. And then it's time for my breakfast. I've shown this before. I have a mixture of porridge oats and fruit, loads of nuts and seeds, as well as coconut cream to make a delicious and nutritious breakfast of champions. I then sit and eat this mindfully. I take my time, I breathe, I enjoy and notice the flavours and textures and temperatures, and I often bring psychosensory touch into this as well, so that I can feel calm, even while noticing all of these different elements of breakfast. Later on, it's time for a workout, and I always remind people that you can't out-exercise a bad diet. Nevertheless, exercise is really good for so many things. It boosts your dopamine levels, it makes you feel good, it improves your metabolism. So I'm a big proponent of the go hard or go home, all while, of course, respecting your body's limits. In terms of exercise, I follow some of the advice of Dr. Stacey Sims, who has the wonderful tagline, "Women are not small men." As she points out, especially for perimenopausal and menopausal women, it's very important, as I said, to keep our cortisol levels down. And the way to do this is that instead of having steady state, high intensity cardio, you do short sprints. And you can do this whether it's with weights or any other form of exercise. I also do it when I'm cycling, for example, that I'll have a 1 minute sprint and then take it easy for a couple of minutes. Another sprint, take it easy for a bit. And I do the same kind of thing with weights as well. I might have some heavier weighted work, then a little bit of no weights, doing something a bit more cardio sprinty, and so on, so that you raise your cortisol and then bring it back down again, always managing those cortisol levels quite carefully. I don't always have time for a walk or a workout on any given day, and sometimes those things happen a lot later in the day rather than in the morning. Nevertheless, they are all really great things to help improve your state of calm, your state of physical well-being, and emotional well-being. So those are the things that I most recommend for people when they ask me, well, what can I do to stop the binges happening? It's prepare ahead of time. Do the things that will help you to be calm, to lower your cortisol levels, to lower your ghrelin levels throughout the day, so that when you get to those points in time when you are more likely to binge, the urges aren't there because you have been taking care of yourself at every level. I hope that you will give some of these or all of these a try, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video, where I'm going to talk about my journey and the things that I see as most foundational for achieving food freedom.